Hey y'all, Kelly King Jackson here. I am about to demo how you can build a custom GPT for your nonprofit for um, fundraising and grant writing, excuse me. So, a couple things to do this, build a custom GPT, you will need a paid account. You can do a monthly paid account if you want to just try things out, or you can do an annual subscription. The higher level you go in terms of your paid account, the more kind of premium features you get, additional level and layers of security and privacy. So, things to think about depending on the type of work that you do. Um, Before you build your custom GPT for fundraising and grant writing, highly recommend you gather key documents that you typically use. So that would likely be successful grant applications, it would be annual reports, it would be 990s from the last few years, program budgets. Um, Overall agency budgets. It might be your list of board of directors or your organizational development chart. It could possibly be resumes for key staff. For some grants, they require that. But really think about what are the key things that you use when you're doing your regular duties. That's what you want to be able to have handy while you're building your GPT. So once you have a paid account, on the left, you're always going to see your GPTs first and then your chat queries second. So we're focused on GPT. So we're going to click GPTs. Top right, you're going to select create, and then we're going to create our GPT. So first, let's go ahead and give ourselves our image, our organizational identity by putting our logo. Let's call this, we're going to use a real organization called Soccer Without Borders. So let's call it SWB Fundraising AI. Short description. This is more helpful for other people who may be using it. So this GPT helps write grants and create donor appeals and do donor prospecting slash, let's say, research. Instructions. You can build this out, but for the time being, I would say keep it broad. But once you really get into using your GPT, you may say there's certain ways our team is going to use this GPT, and these are the parameters. And it's a good to have those here because you want your team to know what they shouldn't be using the GPTs for. Conversation starters, if you over time start to realize you're using the same prompts, right? So funders kind of ask similar questions. And so you can start to systematize your prompts and have them already here. So any team member who comes in can use those prompts. But where I want to focus us today is on upload files. I'm on an iPad, so it's more difficult to upload a bunch of files at once. So I am going to go ahead and do this a little bit differently just for ease. I'm going to have to do a few at a time. So first, I'm going to upload our 990s. Again, this is publicly identified available information. So I was able to kind of craft this GPT for a real organization based on things that are already available in the public. Next, let's go ahead and do another batch of files. This time, let's see, these are some program reports, some value statement, mission, vision. Let's stop there, add those. I believe if you're on a desktop, you can maybe even drag over a folder. So just, think about where you want to do this so you don't have to be as manual. And then let's go ahead and do these last few. See if it'll let me do them all. It did, but it's also reminding me. So Um, ChatGPT at this point in its history does not like read spreadsheets in the same way that it does PDFs and Word docs. So if you have a spreadsheet for your financials, which is what these are, I would recommend turning those into a PDF and then uploading them. So for today's purposes, I'm going to go ahead and delete them. And then you can always come back and update your GPT, and I'll show you how to do that. And then finally, there's a couple other files that I want to share, which is there are some fundraising information we have available for our organization that we'll also add. And then once these are finished saving, you can see the little circle in the top is twirling. That means it's saving kind of on our behalf. But if you don't hit create, it does not save. So please be mindful. Under recommended model for beginners, I would say just keep it as it is. Under capabilities, this code interpreter and data analysis may not be available. I would check it because sometimes you may have like a focus group or something, who knows, that you need to analyze or analyze your 990s or other things. What I want you to focus on is where it says additional settings. I want you to go ahead and click uncheck. The option here says use conversation data in your GPT to improve our models. We do not want to use your current information to train the model. Yes, a lot of this information about your organization is publicly available, but because of still some privacy concerns we have about the tech companies, I dissuade folks from using proprietary or sensitive information in the GPTs. And one layer of protection to do that is to ask it to not train. But we have all the information we need. So we're going to get ready to hit create. And we're going to select anyone with the link so that you're able to share this link with anyone on your team so that they can also use the GPT once you've created it and done trainings with them. If you are the only person who should have access because of your policies at your organization, you can say only me. GPT store, please don't select that because that means everyone on the internet who uses ChatGPT would have access to it. So you can always copy this box here to share the link out with folks. But a couple things I want to say before we leave out. You can query in here. So you can do a search in here, but I learned the hard way that it doesn't save to your main feed. So you know how when you do a search now, it shows up on the left-hand side on your bar of your screen. That does not happen at this point in the tool. If you do a query in this part, because it's kind of like the back end of the GPT. So please, please, please only do practice things. So say you wanted to see test if it's pulling the right language or if you have the right language, you can do some testing in here, but don't do any searches in here that you want to have over time. So as I said, you can always update. So if you were to upload new files in the top right, you will see where it says update. I didn't add anything, but just wanted to demo that for you. And of course it's slow because we are recording. All right, so I'm gonna go back to the main screen and now you see my GPT. So if I wanna do a query that's gonna be around for a while, this is where I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it in here. And then once I say, please write a sample donor letter for Gen X professionals. We're going to let it go ahead and do this query. And it's saying very clearly that it's drawing from your fundraising tools. Awesome. So you can see um, the benefit of this now is if you were to go out and you're going to go somewhere else and you're going to come back, your search should be there. What I would do is also make a new project, and I would call this FWB Soccer's Without Borders donor letters. And then we're going to say create project. We're going to say it's a writing project. Oh, sorry. So the benefit of a folder is your folder is going to kind of keep track. So this is another way to almost do a GPT in the same way. Um, and you can add instructions and things of that nature. The other thing that I just wanted to lift up was in your settings, for you as an individual, you whoever's using this account can also put some custom information about um, how you want the GPT to function. So I have a style of voice, type of voice I wanted to have. I have a grade level. I have a sample audience. I have some preferences about breaking up content. I don't like too many bullets. I don't like it to repeat itself. I don't like fluff words. Um, don't like overusing of emojis and em dashes. So there's ways for you to give it very specific information about how you want it to function. And then anything else you want the GPT to know. So these are personal to me, but you could say our organization is in communities. We have X number of staff. Um, these are some common themes in our work, or the names of the key programs in our work. So you can spill this out so that the GPT knows as much as it can about you as the organization, and then what are the capabilities, where can it search, and then to enable it for new chats. So you then press save. And so between that and the custom GPT, um, chat has a really robust understanding of who you are. I will also add that um, this is pretty similar on other tools. So on Claude, you can customize. On Gemini, you can customize. I would say so far, I feel like ChatGPT's ability to do my GPTs is much better than what is currently available on the other platforms. But wanted to lift that up for you. Again, I can go into my custom GPT and I can go ahead and do a query. All right, hope this is helpful.